Hello, my darling hench viewers. This video kind of goes on from my mini tutorial in my comic review video. You can find it below, or you can just go on my channel because that's the only other long form video I have right now. I need to make more videos. Can someone tell me to put, stuff on a to-do list? Wait, who am I talking to? I have to make a to-do list. But anyways, after I made that video, other than cringing about it, since, first video and blah, 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 I have no idea what I'm doing, all that. But also realizing I'm really bad at backgrounds. So while I'm judging others on them, I should take my own advice. Then it was like, maybe I should make this little series of mine, sharing what I've learned with you guys, since my art looked like this years ago. Look at the colors, the form, the other art technical terms that I know, but my brain is being dumb right now. But now it's more like this. I really went to a late anime phase, huh? Anyways, but to the tips and tricks I've learned. Which one of them I'm really excited to tell you about because I haven't really seen anyone mention it at all, and I thought it might be good for comic people in the chat, since it goes with the whole comic branding that's literally everywhere on my socials. So, here we go. Backgrounds. What I did was not immediately jump into making my own backgrounds. Definitely did not do that. No, I did not. Absolutely not. I'm not that dumb, right? Yeah. But I would recommend doing a little background study. So, I went on Google, found a few images, and there we go. I'm doing studies, which I'm trying to do more of because they're useful, and I'm dumb because I don't do that, so I should probably do that. But it's the same as you would study for a math test, which I've definitely done and have not failed my math tests. But since you would do that, you would also study art to get better at it. So, to the studies. There is no right or wrong way to do studies, but this is what I did. I drew from big blobs of darker colors, where the big shapes were, then went into more and more detail, lighter and lighter on the colors. A good way to do these big blobs of color is if you simplify the image to basic shapes. Cubes, spheres, so on. You should probably know what those are, so, yeah. Other than some good practice, this can also help you figure out what you need to work on. Like for me, I make things really flat. So I need to make sure I don't do that and make them look more good. 3D and not flat. So I need to think more about colors and scale and all of that sort of stuff. After you're done with that, and want to risk a couple of headaches, time to make your own backgrounds. Use references. For the life of me, use them. Unless you have photographic memory or something. I don't know, would that even work? But basically, unless you have that or anything else where you're able to put whatever's on your mind to your digital paper, please use references. Okay, spiel done. Spiel, that's such a weird word. Anyways, spiel done. So when I made my own background, I wanted to make the woods from my comic. Link down below, by the way. I wanted to make a lived-in area since it was a little hideaway from my main characters, Akane and Hide. It's back to tutorial mode. I had the same basic setup of making this background. Blob to detail, dark to light, using references. But I do have a few general tips to share with you. 1. Composition. Have a point where you want the viewer's eyes to go, kind of like an invisible path leading them to somewhere without actually having a path, unless you have one, which this would be easier for you. 2. Values. Further back equals bluer and blurrier because of atmospheric perspective. You can notice it whenever you decide to go out and touch grass, if that happens. But of course, there's exceptions. It doesn't necessarily have to be bluer. If it's, sunset, it would be more like a red-orange color. If it's nighttime, it would be more of a purple color. Use some common sense when it comes to picking your colors for this specific thing. 3. Contrast. Closer equals more contrast. So basically, making sure that your values do not look too close to each other. A good way to do this is if you make your drawing in black and white, and if you notice that you can't really figure out what exactly is in the background and what exactly is in the foreground, you have to up the contrast. 4. Are we at 4? I don't know. 4. Scale. Further equals smaller and skinnier. Closer up equals bigger and not as skinny. An example of this is something that I've noticed. I wasn't allowed outside very much when I was younger, so I thought that stop signs and stuff were very small until I actually stood next to one of them and realized those things are huge. But since I was basically looking at them through a window, they looked really small. But also it could be that I'm just a very short person, but regardless. Also, simplify your background into simple shapes like spheres, cubes, and such. just to make sure you're not making things more complicated for yourself. Especially if you're like me and get very overwhelmed very easily. You don't even need to have super complicated trees or branches or whatever. But of course, it depends on making sure you're not trying to go for some photorealistic type of thing. But for the majority of people, I don't think you're doing the whole photographically realistic type of thing. So just having like 2 to 3 colors on your branches or trees or even bushes can get the point across without having to be too complicated. Plus, you could always use custom brushes and things like that just to make sure this kind of thing goes easier next time around. But basically, there's a lot of different ways to make things more complicated without you needing to spend so many more hours on it. And there we go, we have it all finished. Woo! Oh wait, I forgot something. That very exciting tip that I wanted to show you. So, to the comic tip. This is what I found from a channel that I personally like watching, which is Mark Brunette's art channel. He has a lot of videos about art and stuff like that, but this one specifically, I was just like mind blown. It was so smart. I don't know why I didn't think about it before. But basically, this is something I really thought would be very good for anyone making like a comic or something, where you have to have a lot of backgrounds and stuff. And since you're watching this video, you most likely don't like backgrounds. So to make things easier for that, you can separate your foreground, midground, and background. You can basically remove the foreground, or you can lower the midground, or whatever else. I found this really freaking cool, and you can basically make more backgrounds without making more backgrounds. Plus, when making your panels, you can have your establishing shot, and then you can zoom in for your backgrounds for the rest of your panels, especially with this trick. But of course, practice your backgrounds because you can't get better at it without studying it, which, trust me, I don't want to do, but life is hard, apparently. Not fun. Since I mentioned it before, please go on and check out my comic gang Heir. Read it on Webtoon or Tapas, in case Webtoon blows or something, I don't know, in the link below. And while I'll inevitably find out that I have to learn something while making said comic, like hands. Ugh, I hate hands. If there's anything you'd like to have a tutorial on, leave it in the comments below. Bye!